A common claim that irrational, illogical, nonsensical Christians make is that all sin is the same. Based on their theology, they believe that all sin is the same and viewed the same in God's eyes, on an equal or level playing field, equal footing. So is it true that all sin is the same and God views all sin the same, based on this Christian philosophy and this Christian ideology? I'm a theistic essentialist, so of course this doesn't apply to me, but it does apply to Christians. And so when Christians say this, it absolutely blows my mind, and all I can think is, hey, don't you read your own fucking book, man? So, first of all, based on Christian theology, all sin is not the same. All sin is only the same in the fact that it leads to death. But God does not view all sin the same. And this is what I mean. Here are some examples. God does not view sin equally. Number one, God supposedly only gave 10 commandments. But surely, man, there are more than 10 sins in the world. But he put a premium on those 10, and he felt like it was important to give those 10 at that time. So he felt that there was some type of difference between those 10 and the other, I don't know, million other sins that you could do, such as pride, greed, alcohol abuse, unforgiveness, self-mutilation, etc. I mean, the number of sin goes on and on and on. But he put a premium on those 10 at that particular moment in history, at that particular time, because he felt that sin is a little bit different. He sees it as different. Number two, not all, but only certain types of sins are viewed by God to be detestable abominations, shameless abominations. For example, God says that homosexuality and bestiality is a detestable abomination, but he doesn't list other sins with that same level of disgust. So in his eyes, he's saying, hey, these sins right here are an abomination to me. These sins right here are extra fucking bad. Okay? So that means that sin is not the same in God's eyes. Number three, Sodom and Gomorrah was apparently destroyed for specific sins and not others. For example, Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't destroyed when people were listening to secular music or stealing each other's water. Nah. It was destroyed when people got fucking disgusting. When God reached a certain level and said, okay, assholes, that's enough. Because now you've reached a level and you guys are doing some super bad sins that I see as super bad. So we're going to fucking kill and destroy this whole city. Okay? So that goes to show you right there that all sin is not viewed the same in God's eyes. And there's numerous other examples throughout the Bible where God has a different response to different sins than he does to other sins. Number four, sexual immorality is an example of being different than other sins because it's a sin against your own flesh. And you can look this up. 1 Corinthians 6:18 says, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. So God is clearly telling you right here in this scripture that sexual immorality is different than all other sins. So this shows you again, God does not view all sins the same. Number five, man, the last one. Some sinners, there are some sinners that Christians are commanded by God to not associate with or even sit down and eat with, while other types of sinners are not mentioned, meaning it's just fine. God doesn't go out of his way to say, hey, don't eat with this kind of sinner. Don't eat with this kind of guy. But there are some sins where God's like, hey, this shit is so fucking bad in my eyes, you can't even sit down and eat with this guy. You can't even associate with that guy. So, whenever you hear a Christian say all sin is the same, refer them to this video and say, hey, asshole, that's a fucking lie. I see you soon, man. I'm the Atheist Killer. I'm out, bro. Peace.